is on my YouTube, so you can pick it and share on Facebook if need be. All right. And thanks everyone for making this time. For those of you who may not have met me before, my name is Samuel Yaopondru. Yeah? You can call me Mr. Sam if that suits you both, or Brother Sam, whichever you fancy. And you've got me for the next, how many minutes? 30 minutes, 40 minutes? Something like that. The format of this session, as I said, it's a topic that we can talk about for years. I can make it as long as I want, and at the same time, we can make it as short as I want. It's one of those things that we can't. You can't. I say this, that things to do with mind is not something you can be taught. Okay, but you can catch it, because it's something that we all know, but just that often at times our awareness has not been brought to it. But yeah, dream. So the whole idea for tonight is to engage us in a way that brings our awareness to how we can get the most of mind. All right. We're talking about mind hacking. At the end of this session, you will, it's my hope that you will have an understanding of what mind is. The basic facets or components of mind, and how to get yours to serve you rather than it using you. Okay. As many of us are able to contribute in the sessions, or as they call it, in the portions where I do ask questions, I'll be very grateful if you allow yourself to get immersed in it. It's our session, and we will get out of it what we put into it. I will at this point ask, I'll just take maybe a couple of people, those who are feeling poised enough to make their voices be heard. What are you expecting at the end of this session? Or what are you hoping to achieve once we've been through this session? Anyone at all? And if you don't feel like talking, you can type in the chat. I just want to have a feel if how I'm pegging this sits with what our expectations are. What are you hoping to get out of this? Anyone at all? You can unmute yourself and speak as the guy is saying, or you can put your hand up and then she can call you. Don't be shy. I've got my camera on and I'm not shy. You don't have cameras on, you have got nothing to be shy about. Okay, so it says the ability to empower the mind. iPhone, is your name iPhone? Nelly, okay. So Nelly says, give me a sec. She says the ability to empower the mind to stop overthinking and embrace the fact that life will keep happening. I love the way you put it. Embrace the fact that life is going to keep happening. And stop overburdening yourself with thought. Thank you. To have a positive mindset about myself. That's from Judith McCaffrey. Okay. Thank you. Any more? One last one. One last one. Anyone? Okay. So when we say mind at all, what comes to our mind? Anyone at all? What comes to our, it's actually interesting, isn't it? When we say mind, what comes to your mind? Okay, yeah. What comes to your mind when you hear mind? What comes to your mind? The control board. Oh, I love that. The thinking cap. Okay, control board, thinking cap. Okay. Anything else? You know, generically, like to pick on the points that we've all raised, generically, every time we think my cognitive power. I like that. Victoria Glory says cognitive power. Every time we hear mind, the storehouse, okay, that ability to reason and think. I like that one too from Jewel. It's been a long time, Jewel. I need to touch base with you. Okay. So often when we hear mind, straight away our focus goes to what sits in between the ears. Okay. So we connect mind with brain function. Okay. But everything that we see is mind. Everything has got a mind of its own. Mind goes beyond brain. Mind goes beyond thinking. But for the benefit of our context, we will restrict mind to brain function, brain facility, brain faculty. Okay. And we'll try to build it up from there. Okay. So we will delve into the fascinating realm. I call it fascinating because it's mind-blowing. All is mind. And the universe is mental. If you want to call it an organ, it's a complex organ that doesn't only define our humanity, all of our human existence and play is made possible by mind. So when someone, in quotes, loses their mind, they are considered not to be part of this sensible framework. Do we agree? So when someone is considered to be functioning outside of the expected scope of mind, they get put in a place to try to get rehabbed or reconditioned so that they can think as we expect them to think. I've said this humorously. There's a very thin line where we know you might have heard it, and in as much as it may sound cliche, it is true. We are all mad. That's the truth. We all are. We all are mad, but we are at varying degrees of madness. If you are to walk in the streets of Makola and you find someone chatting, talking to themselves, they clearly not on the phone. These days, you know, people have got earbuds, so they might be talking, they might be on the phone. But when there's no visible sign, or the kind of communication doesn't look like they are talking to someone in a coherent manner, you will assume they are crazy or they are mad. What was it called? Or they are mad. But the truth of the matter is, to find someone walking the road and talking to themselves or talking aloud, and for you to think that they are mad, it's something that we all do. How many times have you not had conversations with yourself? A funny one, you do something stupid and you're like, why did I even do it? Sometimes you even do it in the third person. Why did he do it? Or why did he say that? And you're referring to yourself. And you haven't, we got all this chatter in our heads. But because it doesn't come out verbally, we don't consider ourselves mad. The one who's come out verbally is considered the mad one. So the mind holds the key to our dignity. True or true? And at the same time, it holds the. I would love some feedback if you can give it. If I ask questions, I would love some feedback. If not, if it feels a bit quiet in here. It holds the key to our dignity, and at the same time, it holds the key to unlocking our fullest potential as humans. Okay. So by understanding and hacking, or having the ability to hack our minds, we can harness its intense and immense power to serve us better and to allow us to achieve more in our personal and our professional lives or endeavors. So as I said, we will limit mind to brain. How big is the human brain? Can anyone tell me? How big is the human brain? If you don't know, you can Google. I'm not seeing you, so you can Google and give me an answer. The human brain weighs approximately 1.5 kilograms. Okay. And it has an intricate network of about 100 billion neurons. So let me not bore you. So you can consider neurons as, what they call it, as points or fibers. Okay. Could you please mute yourself, Susanna, please? Susanna, can you mute yourself? Thank you. Okay. Someone said, "I heard it's so big that what? I hear it's so big, it 3/3 of a head." Okay, all right, cool. Yeah. So roughly it's about 3 pounds by weight, and over 100 billion neurons. Very, 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 very complex organ. And it works by all of these neurons or fibers forming connections. So they form connections to make meaning and to make sense of the various things that we perceive in our space, in our environment, and also within us. Okay. So it builds these connections to help us to have thoughts, develop emotions. I'm talking about emotions earlier on in the day, capture memory, and also to take action. So remember these 4: thoughts, emotions, memories, and actions. Okay. And it is very plastic. So we've got a facet of medical science called neuroplasticity that looks at the human brain and how it's wired and how it's organized, how it reorganizes itself, how it rewires itself, and how it allows itself to function the way it's supposed to. Okay. So the brain is plastic, so you can consider it as a muscle as well. It can stretch as far as you want to stretch it. If you are in any doubt, look at the immensity of the things that we have developed and we've been able to achieve as humans. That should give you an idea how plastic the human brain is. Okay. And by it being that, it offers us the opportunity to maneuver and go through life, adapt to experiences, and also give us the space to learn, improve, to improve ourselves, to improve our lives. Everything that we have, everything that we experience, everything that we've got available in our space is what mind has made possible. Okay? I'll give you some interesting, we'll ask some more interesting facts. Despite the mind, or the human mind, comprising only about 2% of our entire body weight, or of the body weight of a normal human being or an average human, our brain consumes approximately 25% of our energy resources. So this underscores the vital role that the brain plays in our daily functioning. 25% of your entire energy consumption goes to your brain. Scary, isn't it? It's not even 5% of your body weight. And his ability to adapt and change is so profound. For me, I love the human brain. I've spent years as a mind scientist studying mind, studying brain functions and stuff like that. And it blows my mind how the brain is able to adapt and change to circumstances. It's so profound. It therefore comes as no surprise when the scripture says that be ye transformed, not by your prayer. You don't get transformed by prophecy. You don't get transformed by revelation and any of those things. He says, be transformed by the renewal of your mind, because whatever is to become of you is what your mind will make possible. So
okay, please let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for such a wonderful day and a time like this for us to meet as a team. Please, can you hear me?
Is that here? Hello? Hello? Sika, can you check that out? Because I'm not sure if it's meant to come into this feed. Okay. All right. Can I carry on? Can I carry on? Okay.
Yes, please.
All right, beautiful. Okay, so you will be surprised how profound the human mind or the human brain can adapt there. And what's it called? Where I was in my talk before I got interrupted. It doesn't come as a surprise why the ancients will say that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. The fact that whatever we consider as a human possibility is as allowed by the ability, the power, and the functioning of the human mind is a fact that is not contestable or arguable in any religious or spiritual persuasion. All religions and all spiritual persuasions agree on this one fact, that the human mind is powerful, and as he thinks, so is he. It is something that we all agree on.
Bring the brush and let me soup you.
Can you please help with getting yourselves muted, please. It's kind of cutting off my flow, and thank you. Okay, so it's something that we all agree. All spiritual, all religious persuasions agree on this one fact. That all that we experience, all that we enjoy is made possible by the mind. Fact. It runs through the scriptures. For those of us who come from a Christian persuasion, even the Quran emphasizes that fact if you're a Muslim. So before we thought, so it had been taught that the brain stops developing, but contrary to that thought, it has been established that the brain continues to develop well into our late 20s. That helps refines the processes related to our decision making, our impulses, our impulsive controls, and our reasoning as well. Okay, so the mind is very, very powerful. And once we understand how intricate this is and how we can use it, we're halfway there. Your mind, I dare say with all humility, can do for you what prayer sometimes may delay in doing, in quotes. Don't get me wrong. I will explain that point later on. And you don't have to think about it so far or so much to acknowledge that truth. As he is, so is he. One of my favorite books of all times, or in fact, one of my favorite mentors of all times, Michael Singer, has done extensive work about mind. And in his book, Untethered Soul, which is one of my favorite books, together with the Surrender Experiment, he emphasizes the importance of distinguishing ourselves from the incessant or the non-stop chatter of our minds. I will touch more on that. And why? Once we come to understand that the mind is designed or is programmed to just do thinking. It's natural. It's default. It wants to. When it's unguarded, it wants to. I've said this over and again for those who've heard me say this repeatedly. What we call thinking is actually listening. You don't have control over your next thought. I can tell you for a fact, the thought that is going to hit you in the next second, you don't know. Genuinely, you don't. But because it comes and then we relate with it, we identify with it, then we try to personalize it and flirt with it, we fool ourselves to think that we are controlling and we are thinking it. We don't. It just hits us. It comes from, it's all up in the air, it's all around us, it's all everywhere, dictated by circumstances, environment, and various stimulus in the atmosphere. You can even pick a thought up that someone else has suggested to you without even you realizing it, because we are vibrational beings. So what we do that we call thinking is actually listening. It's like the radio is tuned on and we are just listening into the various frequencies or to the various broadcasts. And then you focus on what you fancy, you like it, or I like this one, and then you tune in and you want to listen and listen and listen, and you think you are thinking. Am I clear with that? Give me a yes if that's clear. Okay, so that is what happens. This thing is not working. I have muted people on joining in, but I don't know, for some reason it isn't. So I'll just encourage us, if you're on and you can just keep an eye. If you've seen yourself unmuted, please mute yourself for me, because I cannot be chasing it to keep muting people each and every time. Or other than that, Sika, I'll make you co-host, and you can mute people as they join. Okay. All right. So okay. So it is important for us to kind of recognize that. All right. Broadly, the mind has got two modes, or two facets. One we call subconscious, one we call conscious mind. I'm assuming I'm just going to assume we may either know, but I'm not going to teach you SACS, which obviously we have heard loads and loads about. We do hear subconscious a lot because of New Age teachings and personal development stuff, so we do hear it a lot. So I will assume you know, and at the same time assume you don't know. So predominantly, we've got subconscious mind and then conscious mind. Even though within Hindu settings, they categorize the mind into about 8. They've got about 8 categories of mind. But broadly, we say conscious and subconscious. And now, based on what I know in my experience, the subconscious mind, I term it the superconscious mind, because it's not subject in any way. It's super. But we call it subconscious because it is beneath consciousness, okay, or the unconscious mind. So generically, the subconscious mind forms about 7/8 of mind function. And then the conscious mind, our conscious mind, which we are engaging and utilizing at this particular point, allowing us to see, talk, hear, assess things, actively think, engage, is just about 1/8 of it. Some people use the percentages, so let's say 5%, roughly 5 to 10% is conscious, of the mind is conscious. And then 7 to 8, or what's called approximately 19 to 95% is subconscious. Okay. So I always ask this question very simply. If you were to have 8 workers, right, would you rather have 7 out of 8 workers working at a time, or you would rather have 1 out of 8 working for you at a time? Let's have some answers in the chat. Those who rather have 1 out of 8 working for them, just type 1. And those who rather have 7 out of 8 working, just type 7. So if you have got 8 workers of all equal abilities, assumedly, would you rather have 1 working for you per time, or you rather want to have 7 working for you per time? I know that some of us are greedy. We won't have all 8 working. Yes, all 8 can work for us, but let's say in this instance, you can either have 7 out of 8 working for you, or 1 out of 8 working for you. Let's have some answers in the chat. If you think it's 1, just type 1. If you think it's 7, let's type 7. Let's see what the tally stands, or where the tally stands. Let's give ourselves 15 seconds to do that exercise. So Eti says 7. Beza Iso Paris says 7. Any more? Kia Jewel also says 7. And those of you who are saying 7, you can take it a step further. If you can give me a one-liner reason why you'd rather have 7 working for you instead of 1, I would also appreciate that. So we've got 3 7s. So I assume that the rest of us is either we don't have an answer, or we don't know, or we are not really bothered. Whether it's 1 or 7, it doesn't even matter, because you know that at the end of the day we're gonna pick one and just go with it anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Okay, so those who think it's 7, or those who rather prefer 7, that have you got any reason for your preference? Do you have any reason at all for your preference? Any reason at all? It makes the work easier if everyone is on board. Smashing. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Because if you've got more people working, okay, so this says output of 7 will be higher than just 1. Okay, that is, yeah, with the assumption that they've all got equal abilities. Clearly, the 7 will can do more with less effort. Okay, so saying that, or based on that, and I agree with you, I'd rather have 7 myself. We're saying that, and with the understanding that the subconscious mind forms 7 out of 8, and the conscious mind forms 1 out of 7, which would you rather want working for you, or which would you use to make the work easier? Or which, when employed, would make the work easier? The conscious mind or the subconscious mind? Give me some answers. I told you I'm going to try to make this interactive as possible. We are only doing the boring stuff out of the way now. We're going to get into more exciting stuff. So just bear with me. Come on, Betty. So conscious mind, 1 out of 7. Subconscious 1 out of 8. Subconscious 7 out of 8. And you said that you rather have 7 working out of the 8. And I flip it now, and now you're saying conscious. So you're getting me confused about it. Or you didn't understand my question. You rather have, oh, good, thank you. The subconscious. Exactly. So you are not far from right. And the reason is very simple. When we go through school, or our generic or our traditional school system focuses a lot on conscious education, or education or giving us education in the area of developing our faculties, our conscious faculty. And if the power of a man, they say that knowledge is power, or the right application of knowledge is power. If the power of a man is in the power of his mind, and subconscious mind forms 95% of mind functioning, then the power of the man undoubtedly is as powerful as a subconscious conditioning. Do we agree? The truth is, life will reward us with what we claim as true about ourselves. Life knows no good, wrong, but men do. As Albert Einstein says, I love that quote, nothing ever good or right is thinking that makes it so. Apostle Paul says that to the pure, all things are pure. To the defiled, even the holy things are defiled. Clean and unclean is as permitted by what the observer dictates and declares it to be. And all of these are as a result of our subconscious programming and our subconscious conditioning. It's subconscious mind that makes you do things that you don't intend to do, you promise yourself you wouldn't do, and yet you find yourself repeatedly and consistently doing it. Subconscious programming. Conditioning from the past, conditioning from even sometimes genes. Those of us who have got parents who worry, or you worry all the time. They gave birth to us with worry genes. We fret about things. We are always worried and we don't even know why we are worried. We're anxious about almost everything and we don't even know why we're anxious. What did you say? It says because it's where our physical reality is created and activated. Okay. Yeah. So it happens to all of us. And when I awoke to this, that is when I decided to allow myself to understand how the subconscious mind works. And then release myself into getting the most of it and allowing it to serve me the very best that it can serve me. I'll say this. I'm not sure how many of us have thought about it. We all go through life wanting the best for ourselves. We're looking at having our clock in our mind to do more for us. But if I were to tell you that we don't create any of our desires, they find us, will you agree with me? Okay, you wouldn't. It's fine. Cool. Okay. So your Bible says, okay, I am going to break it down. We don't create our desires find us. Because often at times we think of desire as the concrete thing. So I desire a car. So we think the desire is the car. Delight yourself also in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Desire predominantly is a yearning. Okay? It's a yearning. So your scripture will also tell you, for those of us who go out of the Christian persuasion, whatsoever things you desire, when you pray, believe you receive them and you have them. Correct? Okay. Everything that you want to aspire to, everything that you want to possess, everything that you want to obtain, it's primarily or 99.999% because it has been suggested to you either by your environment, by your upbringing, or even by your genes. It has been suggested to us how marriage, for instance, should be: father, mother, children, going on holidays, putting our pictures on Facebook to encourage our friends to also go on holidays and have a blissful marriage. Having that glamorous, massive wedding because, oh, I've seen that person's one, it's nice, I want one like that. Our environment consistently bombards us with desires, constantly. And in this social media era, unfortunately, that has created depression for a lot of people. To the point that, okay, I started school with this guy. I always give this example. One of my very good friends back in secondary school, We no longer as close as we used to, but if I pick the phone and maybe reach out to him, it's not going to say I should disappear. But we don't get to talk as much. Very, very good friend. We used to back then. He's one of Ghana's big time millionaire, big time. Kevin Orchard, Springfield, yeah. If I am to look at it on the surface, look at his life and look at my lifetime, yeah, my life now, we are miles apart in terms of attainment, in terms of achievement, in terms of what we have in quotes done for ourselves by societal judgments and societal standards. It's very easy to feel depressed because of what he's doing, what he has, and what I don't have, or what I'm doing. Isn't it? Oh, we started off. Yeah, we came from different backgrounds, we've come from different backgrounds, we've got different parents and everything. They comparing themselves with one another, Paul says, are not wise. That is the Bible's definition of foolishness, to compare yourself with another. Am I allowed to use the Bible here? I'm making an assumption. They comparing themselves one with another are not wise. That is the definition of foolishness. Comparison. This is an example that I also give all the time. Up until Apple created iPhone, who could have desired an iPhone? And now you want an iPhone 17 or 18 because Apple has told you this is great, it's got this function, it's got that function, you can use it for that and that and that. And now all of a sudden you want one, you desire one. Apple made you want it. Apple made you desire it. It didn't come from you. It found you. Am I clear? Or I've not succeeded at breaking it down. Now it makes sense. Thank you. So, with that said, every desire that finds us, so long as it's birthed in alignment with the dictates of our subconscious mind, it carries in it is pregnant with the plan to find its fulfillment and its expression. My word shall not go or depart and return unto me void, unless it has accomplished the pleasure of that which I've sent it. Every seed has got in it the promise of a forest. True or true? Good. So every deep conviction we hold of ourselves is what we show up as and what shows up for us. As he thinks in his heart, he qualifies it. So we see. So many try to deprogram their or deprogram or reprogram them themselves by using positive affirmations and affirming positive things and speaking positive things to us. But over time, I've realized, put my hand up, it doesn't work. With a caveat. Why does it not work? It doesn't work because you are still trying to activate your conscious mind, which is only delivering 5% for you, instead of working at the subconscious. So you're telling yourself, I shall not be poor, I shall not. You have been saying that for years. You're still struggling. Why is it not working? It's not working because, very simply, you are saying it, but your subconscious mind, which is strong 95%, is working against it. It doesn't believe it. The program of your subconscious is not consistent with the conscious affirmations you are declaring. So your pastor will tell you, look at this nice car, look at this nice house, and claim it as you own. The moment you say it, your subconscious mind will tell you that your bank account is 1 cedi 50 pesos. And then fear grips you and it goes through the window. You don't have the accompanying feeling, the accompanying emotion to go with the affirmation to agree with your subconscious mind. It throws it through the window and it doesn't work. The reality sets in. Yeah, exactly. It sets in. And it doesn't work. We will show ourselves today something that way. So I teach people affirmation and declarations, because your mind will buy a declaration. So what's a declaration in contradiction? If I'm to my guru gives this example and I love it because it's perfect. If I'm to wash my clothes tonight and say that it's going to be day tomorrow, even if it's going to rain, the sun will come up for my clothes to dry. Chances that I will doubt it is very limited, isn't it? Very limited. If I tell myself, as the grain of corn goes to the ground, dies, and becomes a maize field, I am here to be more. I've given myself an evidence in nature, and now it's believable. As opposed to me just saying, I cannot be poor, I cannot be sick, I cannot be all of those things, which often at times I found are even infused with fear. The discomfort that we have with what we don't want, what we are trying to avoid, the things we don't like. So sadly, most of our prayers, I'll use this again, I'm assuming that it's predominantly Christian here. Most of our prayers are all against things. They are all prayed against what we don't like, what we want to avoid. The sad truth is, what you resist controls you. What you allow, what you permit grows. What you resist controls you. I give this analogy of walking in a park, in a field with your child, and you being obsessed with not wanting your child to go somewhere you think they're going to hurt themselves. You don't enjoy the experience because you are consumed all the time trying to grip them, holding them, and you yourself, you are not free. What we resist binds us. It holds us. It deprives you of joy. It deprives you of living. Pray for what you want. Jesus never said, whatsoever things you don't desire, you don't want, pray against it. Pray for their desires, their fulfillment. Not back to sender. I don't want to go that direction. You forget about that. I pastor as well, so forgive me if I use too many churchy examples. Okay? So he says something very powerful that I love. I'll say this, and if there are any questions, we take it and we try and wrap up. Or I'll open up for if anyone has any questions in line with. I love asking questions because that's my only confirmation that you've gotten or you've caught what I'm trying to get across. Okay. So your scripture will tell you that a man's enemies shall be the members of his own household. And straight away your mind goes to your auntie who is a witch in the village. Sorry, who's a village in the witch? Who is a witch in the village? Who members? You see, a man's enemies shall be the members of his own household. But you've never paused to ask yourself what household he's talking about. You are a house. Paul called it this in the New Testament. It refers to your body as a temple, your body as a tabernacle, and all of that. And what are the members of your household? Faculties inside you, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, your mind, fighting against you because you haven't learned how to use them to your advantage. You are letting your mind use you instead of you using your mind. And you're busy going about giving everybody a piece of your mind, and you wonder why you are now walking about mindless. You lose your mind because you've given everyone a piece of it. Of course, my sister, all about the mind. All is mind work. A man's enemy shall be members of his own household. A man's friend shall equally be members of his own household. And I dare say that the most critical change that we require is the change of mind. You don't need to work on any condition in your life that you don't like. I say that confidently, I say that boldly. I don't talk about what I don't practice, I don't talk about what I don't know. You don't need to. You don't need to. Make the inside of the cup clean, and the outside shall doubtless be clean. For out of the abundance of the heart, of the mind, it comes out. When you are pressed, when life, the events of life and the circumstances of life are pressing you, it is what you are filled with that will come out. Rather than working on the outside circumstance, because you have been conditioned to think, things aren't going well in my life, things aren't going right in my life, it's that person there, it's that circumstance there, we blame everybody else but ourselves. I can guarantee you, when you take responsibility and you work on yourself, all your conditions will begin to change in reflection to what you have prepared on the inside. We see things for who we are, not what their things are. We see things for who we are. The only place we can cure our insufficiencies and our limitations is in our mind. And nowhere else. It's in your mind. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Out of the heart, the Bible says, proceeds all issues of life. Therefore, make the inside of the cup clean, and the outside will doubtless be cleaner. As he said. Once you fix the inside, you realize that your environment and your conditions will be a split reflection of your inner state of mind and your inner reality. It's all in. As within, so without. And whatever you pray, whatever we impress on the subconscious mind, it finds expression on the screen of space, which is on the outside in our material reality. Because your subconscious mind always will magnify what you give attention to. So when you're sat in that moment, when you're having the quarrel in your mind, fighting people in your mind, that person has done this, I don't like that. Why did he talk to me like that? What does he think of me? What do they think of themselves? They think I'm they are better than me. Why did he talk to me that way? And all of those mind chatter, that is how you burden and infiltrate your subconscious mind. And if your strength fails in the day of adversity, then your strength is little. Help yourself. Deliver yourself. You will do a 5-minute, like a 5-minute short, deeper works, inner works. I've said, I've only got like this time to have this conversation. There's a subject that we can talk about for the rest of our life. That's all I talk about. Because I've realized that is all there is. The universe is mental, all is mind.
Go and drink some. See, drink.
Okay?
Daddy, drink.
My daddy doesn't want to drink. Can you mute daddy for me, please? Okay. So once we fix the inside, we realize that our environment and conditions will be a split reflection of our inner state. And you will have no struggles whatsoever then convincing your deeper self of the conditions you desire, and it will proceed almost immediately without fail to bring it to your reality, whatever you desire. See? Greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. All the wisdom that has created all the beauty of this cosmos resides right on your inside. And is seeking a free, joyous, and a harmonious expression through you. That's why you need to live in a joyous expectancy of the best at all times, and only the best will come to you. Remember this as I close. The mind that is always at peace will always find answers. Let go of the things which trouble you. You see, I've said this a number of times. Often at times, all of life is about interpretation and our perspective. Okay? Every thought is neutral. Not a lot that you can do about the thought. It only becomes a problem when we attach to it. I teach a life of non-attachment, because attachment is what causes suffering. Said this humorously a few times. I'm at a point in my life, or I've been at a point in my life in a few years, nobody can insult me. It's not that you insult me, I insult you back. No. I don't relate to any insult whatsoever. You cannot disrespect me. It's not possible. Because it's only your opinion. Your disrespect is only, or what you consider disrespect is only your interpretation of your own inner reality. It doesn't bother me. I make no connections whatsoever to it. If you're walking in the street and you are called Angela, and someone keeps calling Fusia, 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 and you're not Angela, you're not Fusia, you're not going to turn back, are you? So why is it that someone says you're a fool, and you've done an assessment and you don't see yourself as a fool? Why do you react to it? We allow our ego, because we can talk about that another time. We can use an entire year to talk about the ego. Our ego plays tricks on our mind because we attach certain ideals to the ego. We see ourselves in a certain light. So when someone brings a contrary opinion or a contrary thought to our projections on ourselves, we want to protect that idea, that perspective, that image that we have projected and created. We want to protect it, so we fret, we fight, and we stress, and we just suffer for nothing. How can I be a fool? I'm not a fool. You call me a fool, I don't respond to it, I don't attach to it. I don't feel disrespected. You're only speaking. It's only your language. Maybe you are describing yourself. It's not me. So I can't fight about it. Have that attitude, and you see, you begin to piss people off easy. And those who are seeking to annoy you, they will end up being angry with themselves, because they realize that it's like throwing water on the back of a duck. It just bounces off and rolls away. It doesn't get to you. Sometimes I've come across people and they say that they tell me, oh, it's a matter of time. No, that's not true. That's another lie we keep telling ourselves. It's never a matter of time. It's a matter of choice and decision. The day you choose and the day you decide is the day it changes. You may not see the results instantly, but your subconscious mind begins to accept that this is how he wants to be. This is the reality he or she has accepted, and it begins to conform. It's just that the subconscious is neutral. It's neutral. So I came up with this quote, and I say it, and this is the quote: the subconscious mind has no sense of humor. So don't joke yourself into unhappy experiences. Note it down. The subconscious mind has no sense of humor. So don't joke yourself into unhappy experiences. I can tell you for a fact, every time you feel unhappy, you have made your own self unhappy. I make no apologies about that statement because it's the you choose to be unhappy. Yes, okay, someone you might have lost a loved one, you feel sad. Okay, yes, I understand that. You don't have any control over the pain. Pain we don't have control over, but suffering we choose. How we think about the pain, how we process the pain, how we relate with the pain, how we interpret the pain is what creates the suffering. That one you have control over. You don't have control over the pain. All of life is about pain. But the pain is not about you. The pain is about life. I just give you an example and an instant for you to get it. Childbirth is a painful process. But when a mother is in pain, is it because nature wants the mother to die? No. The pain is necessary for life to continue. Life happens through pain. But the pain is not about us. There are opportunities for our growth, for our advancement. If you put your hand to fire and it doesn't hurt, you're going to burn your hand through. So the stimulus of pain is to protect you. You want to develop strong muscles, you go to the gym and all of that, you feel your muscle fibers are ripping and going through the process of rebuilding. It's painful, but that is how the muscles get stronger. As the poet Rumi says, and I love it, he said that the wounds in our hearts, they are the entry points of life. Entry points of life. They enlighten us, they open us to an awakening. I'm not sure if I have done decent justice to this point. Okay. Exactly. No pain, no gain. So, in closing, I've said in closing like twice, haven't I? Imagine that you're driving, okay, and someone cuts you off, someone cuts in front of you. Instantly, anger arises and your mind races with negative thoughts. By stepping back and observing these reactions without any attachment, you are going to prevent yourself, for instance, from dictating the mood and actions that is going to lead to you being calm. I practice this all the time. Yes, every now and again I threw some F-bombs. I'm not going to lie about that. I do that because I enjoy it. I feel funny about it. But genuinely, you don't attach. One of the easiest way to keep yourself grounded, I say, we need to go through our day grounded and being centered every day, because the mind needs to be centered. The mind needs to be grounded. One of the easiest way to do that is to stay in the present, to stay in the now, and understand that, yes, all we have is now. In as much as the past is constantly impregnating the present to give birth to the future, all we do really have is now. Memory is powerful because the moment you have released the word into the present, it's already in the past. That is equally true. I teach that you can go to the past too far, and so long as you are only bringing up useful and powerful nuggets or seeds to impregnate your present, to give birth to a magnificent and a glorious future. If not, leave the past in the past. What matters is now. You cannot breathe in yesterday, you cannot breathe in tomorrow. Where the space in which we have to breathe is now. All breathing has happened now. Life is happening through our breath now. All is happening is now. Why should you wreck yourself over something that someone did to you 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and you're never going to let go of it? You're holding on to it. It's wrecking you, destroying you, and you still want to blame the circumstance. No, I blame you. Free yourself. Tell yourself you are responsible. The moment you tell yourself you are responsible, you put power in your hands and you can do something about it. You can change something. But the longer you put responsibility in the hands of a third party or a third party circumstance or person, you deny yourself of the power. You don't have any control. All the control is gone. Are you with me? Okay, I said that you've got questions. I'll take them and then we'll do a quick practice and yeah, maybe we'll wrap. Maybe you can ask a question if Lady Sandra is here, she can answer that. She's gone. Yeah. Are there any questions? Are there any questions?
Hi.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions or whatever it may be, please feel free to and have answers for yourself. So you can just unmute yourself and speak if you have any questions at all. Thank you.
Okay, so Diana says, how can we unlock the 90% of I'll say mind. I know you're referring to mind that we tend. So it's not like we are not using it. No, the subconscious mind uses us. So the fact that we are not actively engaged in it doesn't mean it's like something has happened in the past, something happened 10 years ago. Okay, so all of us, regardless whatever age you were once a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, 5-year-old. Okay, the fact that you don't remember that your 5-year-old, you don't remember anything about your 4-year-old or your 5-year-old life doesn't mean it never happened. It did happen. It's using us all the time. It's what is making us, what makes you angry unnecessarily without even knowing why you're angry. I'll just highlight just basic techniques. So one thing that I find very, very useful is, or one of the easiest way to deprogram your subconscious mind. When you sleep, your mind still works or your brain still works. You know that, yeah? But the only difference is you are not aware of brain activity, but it still works. It doesn't go to sleep. Yes, it rests, but it doesn't sleep. So what I teach people to do before you go to bed each night, I'll teach us this. I'll teach us this. Before you go to bed each night, never go to bed angry. Bible says do not let the sun set on your anger. Never go to bed angry. That's one. And the last 5 to 10 minutes of every night, I just want you to just lie down, close your eyes, observe your breath, observe that there's breathing happening. Okay, Some people say focus on your breath. Okay, yeah, you say focus on your breath, but it's not like focusing on your breath per se. If I'm focusing on my breath, I'm like, oh, I'm breathing. But if I'm aware of the fact that breathing is happening, I become a passive observer. Observe your breathing. And then if you want to advance it, feel your heartbeat. Listen to how many times it's beating, the rhythm of the heartbeat, coupled with your breath in, out, deep breathing. If you go through like 30 cycles of deep breathing in and out, your body will naturally relax. And what I want you to do is you imagine, not that you're not imagining, you are thinking of the last activity of the day before you hit your bed, and play your mind back to the very first activity in that particular day of the morning. So you pick key activities, relevant, significant activity. So my husband didn't talk to me nicely. He got me angry. He said this and that word I didn't like. He made me feel this way. Okay. I want you to play those activities, the key activities, the highlights of your day in your mind, from the last activity to the very first, because I said the last, if you can do the first activity to the last, is fine. I say last activity because that is what is the freshest experience or the freshest memory. And then you begin to, you're able to easily track yourself back to the morning. And all you're doing is, if it was a pleasant experience, something that happened that you really enjoyed, focus briefly on the feeling, the excitement, celebrate it. And oh, Tika said hello, it made me feel so good. Oh, that's so nice. I enjoyed that. And I imagine each and every time Tika says hello, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to be nice. I'll enjoy it. And you create that. If it's an experience that you didn't particularly enjoy or didn't particularly exalt you, so someone spoke to me or you spoke to someone in a manner that you think wasn't nice, you play back that same experience, but this time, rather than focus on how it happened that you didn't like it. So I called Sika, I was angry and I insulted her left, right, center. She got pissed off. She also told me her peace of mind and she left the phone. Now I'm playing back the experience. I'm talking to Sika, and instead of me saying that her hair is like a goat, now, oh, Sika's got a beautiful hair, beautiful face. You're looking very pretty today. How are the kids? Everyone is great. And I'm laughing, she's laughing. We've had a good time. What I've done is I have corrected that experience. Okay, and superimposed the pleasant experience over the experience that I found unpleasant. And once I've done that, worked my way from the end to the finish, I give thanks, I sleep. What will happen is, once now you go to bed, you hit bed, your subconscious mind is free to do whatever. Your conscious mind is not actively trying to engage and go, oh, but I don't like it. She said this and I didn't like it, and trying to find even more hurtful or more painful words to use to counteract what she said last time. I've gotten my subconscious mind right now to think on the pleasantness and the corrected experience. Exactly. Thank you, Pastor K. I've gotten the subconscious mind right now to think on the pleasant experience. And now as I sleep, my conscious mind is not in the way. That gets recorded, that gets embedded on this, what is it called, on the subconscious. So I do this activity repeatedly. Now, each and every time in my experience that incident happens or a similar experience happens, the subconscious mind will naturally dictate the pleasant memory that you have programmed into it. And you improve yourself by the day, by the day, by the day, by the day, by the day. And before you realize, you look yourself down, a year down the line, you are no longer the person that you were in January. It's as simple as that. It works. I'm not bullshitting you. It works. It works. Okay? And as Pastor K also put in there, if you're a Christian, your Bible gives you the syllabus for thinking in Philippians 4. Now, dearly beloved or brethren, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report, if there be anything worthy of praise, think on these things. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will garrison your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. So, thoughts are arising in my mind. Are these? Run it through it. Is this pure? Is this true? No, it's not. Is this lovely? Is this worthy of a good report? No, you burn it. It's as simple as that. It's not, it doesn't take time. It takes a choice and a decision. Oh, I love that. That's a very genuine and an honest question. No, it is not all about positivity or whether we like it or not. No, I'm not saying that. Not at all. But it's about interpretation. Okay? So maybe time wouldn't allow us for us to go into that aspect as well. But the experiences that we have, you ask yourself very simply, all the things that I don't even, those of you who know me who know this, I don't even do positive and negative, because to have electricity, you need positive and negative for electricity to happen. But here's the catch. When you're feeling upset, when you're feeling rage, when you're feeling angry, ask yourself the genuine question. Do you feel happy when you're angry? Do you feel calm? Do you feel relaxed when you are any of that? You don't. So that means there's something in your body, there's something in our system that is not consistent with that energy or with that feeling. However, we can use, they are tools. The upset, the anger, and all of those, they are tools. I call them demons. That when we learn how to utilize them, they have a purpose. I think that as well. They have a purpose. But the challenge is most of us don't realize the purpose of these angels or these demons. So we don't use them, rather we allow them to wreck us. I'll give you an example. A classic one. When a baby swallows themselves and they cry and they get angry, they are registering their displeasure at the state that you are leaving them in. How dare you leave me in this state? Do something about it. And then you rush. If it's food, you give them food. If you need to change them, you change them. Without them giving you that, they have no way of communicating to you the change that needs to happen. It's a discomfort, but it was in demand of a change. So can we say that is bad? No, it's not. It's not negative. So your anger, supposedly, if I'm getting angry, most of us, where we have become, or where we find ourselves as where we find ourselves as humans, it's as a result of things which have happened over time that we have found need to change. Because something first happened, we found out it felt like injustice. We wanted to do something about it to make it better. We used that injustice to produce a better environment, to produce a better human environment. Your anger, all those supposed negative emotions, they all have a purpose. The trained spirit positions themselves in a place where they can go, okay, why am I feeling this rage? Why am I feeling this anger? What is your purpose, oh anger? What good are you supposed to yield right now? Show me, and I can guarantee you. When someone is pissing you off and you can give yourself a moment, 10 seconds to think like this, there's no way you can be angry. Or there's no way you will react irrationally. You will find what the purpose of that anger is and you will direct it right. I can promise you that. Me teaching all these things, I can't sit here and tell you that I get angry sometimes. And I pause and ask myself the question, what in me is getting angry? What in me is getting uncomfortable? What in me is getting pissed off? Why am I feeling this way? You ask that question and the mind, remember, if you don't remember anything I've said, remember this. The mind that is at peace always finds the answers. Not sometimes. The mind that is at peace always finds the answers. Watch for what the Lord will say unto his servants, for the Lord will only speak peace to his servants. The mind that is at peace always finds the answers. We don't find answers because we don't want to be still. Be still and know. Knowledge rises in stillness. Yes. Peaceful mind always finds the answers before. He has no choice than to find them. Finds the answers. I'm not sure if that answers your question, please. So, you talk about mindfulness. I love meditation. Like mindfulness, you want to call it meditation, that's fine. It's a regular practice that enhances self-awareness, and it helps reduce stress and allows you to better manage your thoughts and emotions. Visualization, which is also my favorite. Imagining desired outcomes, which we did a bit of that in the nighttime routine that I shared. Can activate the same neural circuits that allows you to prime your brain for success. Affirmations that talk about that, or affirmations. I've got some 3 basic affirmations. I'll send them to Sika. She can share it with yourselves. So an affirmation, for instance, I just slide down every morning. I look in the mirror. The first time I see the mirrors, and these days phones out there, you can just pretend you're taking a video, look at yourself and tell yourself, I love myself. I love myself. I love myself 10 times before you walk away. Never let a day pass without you telling yourself you like yourself or you love yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love myself. You cannot say that 10 times and have a frown on your face. You cannot say that 10 times to yourself and have a bad day. It's not possible. Regardless how angry you are, you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. By the time you said it 5 times, you are relaxing up. It relaxes you. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. Even when you're feeling angry, the anger will begin to dissipate. Okay? So one affirmation that I do is, why am I so gorgeous? Why am I so intelligent? Why am I so humble? Why am I so calm? Why am I so charming? Why am I so beautiful? Okay? Then another way to train your subconscious mind is to engage in activities which stimulate your brain and promote neuroplasticity, or I call it cognitive flexibility. Because whenever you do something new, your brain rewires and reestablishes new neurological pathway. And you kind of rewire your brain to train yourself. And I can't say any more than that. And physical exercise, simple exercise, release good hormones in the body and gets your brain fired up. Does that answer the question, please? Thank you. If there isn't any more, I'll welcome us. Is there any more? If there isn't any more, I just welcome us wherever you are.
Hello, please. Good evening.
Good evening.
Please, I have a question.
Yes, go on, please.
Please, what about if someone hurts you in a way, maybe the person keeps doing it for some time, and then you decide to accept that it is your fault, then you treat those people as if they don't even exist in your life. What about that? Is it a good practice or not?
Okay, so thank you very much. It's a very valid question, and I'll answer it this way. Hopefully, I make sense. So, accepting is your fault, and accepting you are responsible are not the same things. Okay, I use this because I know ladies like it's a very delicate area for ladies. So I use it. A partner who cheats, supposedly, you people call it cheating. I don't know what it is, but I'm using a language that you understand. And their partner is misbehaving, it's difficult for you you can't accept that it's your fault that they are doing it. They choose to go open their zips. You don't do that for them. No. So it can't be your fault. It's not your fault. You can't accept fault for, you can't accept fault for that. You can't. But you are responsible. Why are you responsible? You are responsible for how you see it. You are responsible for how you interpret it. You are responsible for how you deal with the person. So bringing it back to what you said about accepting or saying that and dealing with them, treating like they don't exist, there's a lot more that come into it than just that line of action. Treating that they don't exist, that's in the marriage is no longer marriage or the relationship is no longer a relationship. That is a question that you can answer. But I kind of get where you're coming from. A better approach, in my opinion, I'm saying there's always a better way, in my opinion, is to seek to exhaust all possible avenues of redress. The Jesus principle, in my opinion, it works well. Your brother has got out against you, go to them, seek reparation, talk to them man on man. If they don't listen, take an elder can still be yourself. These days, anyway, so many pastors are collapsing and so many marriage counselors are collapsing marriages and relationships left, right, center because they themselves are untrained. And then after you've taken those necessary steps, and if they still don't conform or they still don't comply, you treat them as a pagan. Treating them as a pagan only means just similar to what you said. You go like, okay, maybe that is how they want to be. That's how they want to live their life. So yeah, but what choice do I have in that? If this is how you're choosing to live your life, I'm using the same example of cheating, and I'm still with you in this space. Well, unfortunately, I can't open myself up to you infesting me with whatever you bring from somewhere. So maybe we're only going to share intimacy with barriers because I don't have the confidence that you're keeping yourself clean. You have taken responsibility. Do you understand? I use that example because it's a sensitive area and I know it's a challenge for a lot of marriages.
Yes, it is. This is about a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, something happened, and then it's like she heard something. She heard something from someone that I said, and I tried talking to her. A friend also who knows about the issue went to her to talk to her, but she wouldn't listen. So me, I just decided to treat her as if she doesn't exist in my life anymore. So when I see her, I just leave and then I go away.
Fair play. I cannot fault you on that. Based on what you've told me, you have done your honest part. You understand? Because people will think what they want to think, people will believe what they want to believe. People will see, you can't force anybody to see life from your perspective. You can only share with them your perspective, and you can only appeal to your conscience. You can only be honest to your own self be true. See? Or if you have acted out of the integrity of your heart, you let them be, wherever long it takes them to come around. People always wake up, but the issue is it takes time, a lot longer to wake up. So yeah, just leave it at that. So long as you're not bearing any grudge in your heart, and you've got nothing against them, and it's just a case of maybe they don't want the friendship the way, or you believe having a friendship the way it used to be, it's not helping the pair of you, then so be it. You know, sometimes you have to let Moses die.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Uma. Okay, so I want us to wherever you are right now, I'm just going to ask us kindly to do something. This is not occult, it's nothing. It's just you getting relaxed and allowing your subconscious mind to receive some power. Is that okay? Okay. So I want you to just relax wherever you are. If you are in a position that you can sit, I just want you to concentrate on your breath. Breathe in deeply and enjoy your breath. Just breathe a few cycles. Deep breath in, deep breath out. So breathe in at a count of, let's say 5, and hold it for 2, and breathe out for 5. And I want you to do that for me like 5 times. I know we are doing this activity in the night, but this is something that I will encourage you to do in the morning, because the door of your subconscious mind opens in the morning. So if you begin to think about a new reality or experience for yourself, contemplate on a new way of being, taking time out of your busy life, thinking about a desired future experience that awaits you, the new you that you want to see, the new you that you are seeking to give expression to, the new you that you want to emerge of. The mere process of thinking and contemplating is the building process. What's it called? Neurologically in your brain. So I want you at this time to think about a change in yourself you would like to embrace, or a future reality you would like to experience. The you that you would love to see, the you that you want to be proud of. I want you to just take a moment to think about it. It is some type of event, and this event is awaiting you in the quantum field. And as you begin to think about and speculate on this impending or this future event, the frontal lobe, I didn't get a chance to go into the components of the brain, but your frontal lobe opens up and it turns on as you think on these things. The you desire, the you are that is seeking to emerge. As a crowning achievement of humans and our creative center, that's where your frontal lobe is. And what it's doing now is seamlessly piecing these pieces together and forming connections together and raising you up to a new level of mind. And remind yourself of this future that you see, this desire that you have. And this vision or picture in your mind right now, in essence, is an intention. And you are naturally forcing your brain to fire a new sequence, pattern and combinations thereof. You are reorganizing a new circuitry in your brain to begin to change the brain to look like this future event that you are imagining. Could it be the house that you want to live in? The beautiful, the sound perfect family, your idea of perfect that you are aspiring to have, the new career, the new business, the traveling opportunities that you're looking for, the health in your body, that exotic holiday that you dream of in Barbados, whatever it is. If yours is a Louis Vuitton bag, so be it. Just hold this image. And what you're doing now is, your brain now is no longer a record of the past, but a satellite navigation system to your future. You're holding this ideal of a future reality as it occurs. And as you hold this thought, I want you to recruit as many of your sensory perceptions to it. So if it's a scene, a holiday scene, for instance, what are the sounds in the background? What do you hear? People chattering away, laughing, joyous, loud music, good music, your favorite music playing. Hear the sounds. See the visuals, the beach, the white sand, the clear crystal ocean, moving sweeping all over you, drenching you even as you lie at the beach, looking at beautiful women, beautiful men. What do you see? Is there a smell to it? You smell the breeze of the ocean. You feel the breeziness to your skin. All the hairs on your back, on your hands are waking up by the breeze that is moving around. Smell of freshness, fresh marine water. On holiday in New York, seeing all the skylights of New York. Create it as vividly as you possibly can. If it's a new car, how does it sound like? It starts smooth, sleek. You don't even hear the sound of the engine, but it moves. Imagine it. Bring in as many of your sensory perceptions as you can bring into this picture, this image, and this experience. Just bring them in. And you are moving towards the future. Because that future is now. You are experiencing what we've done now. You are experiencing this event emotionally in your mind. And when the thought becomes the experience in your mind, it yields the feeling in your emotions. Now you are excited about the thoughts of it. Teach yourself now how this feeling or this future event feels before it's manifested materially. Feel the emotion of it. Let the emotion rise within you. Get excited about it. And as you begin to combine that clear intention with an elevated emotion of gratitude and inspiration and joy, feel the empowerment that it brings. Because you are now supernatural, you are unlimited, and your body as a conscious mind is beginning to believe and accept that it is living in this future reality in this present moment. And all that is happening is allowing you to activate and signal new waves and connections and genes so that your body is now living in the future rather than being trapped and being disemboweled by your present reality. If you've closed your eyes, I just want you to open your eyes briefly. Look around you to the left and to the right. Close your eyes again and harmonize everything that you saw with the image that you have seen in your mind. You make it one. So when you open your eyes again, your surroundings is not conflicting with the image that you've created in your mind. And as you're doing that, I want you to pick an anchor. An anchor is something very simple. Like for instance, if it means one of my anchors is gripping my thumb like that, So the feeling that I've created, the imagination and the sensation that I've built with particular or specific events that I've created in my mind, every time I hold my hand like that, it gets me reminded of that event, and I recreate the same feelings, the same emotions to go along with it, and then I rehearse it in my day consistently. So pick an anchor and pick at that particular feeling, this particular feeling right now, this particular image to that anchor. It's a new state of being. The body is now moving to a present reality because your biology begins to change, because you are now in a new state of being. In this new state of being, what you need to do is think about the choices you are going to now make. What behaviors are you now going to demonstrate that is consistent with this image that you just created? You're going to focus on this during the day, and particularly what's called the term consequently in your lifetime. What behaviors will I or am I going to demonstrate? What choices am I going to make consistent with this? Ponder on this experience that awaits you as you mentally rehearse it. This has become your new elevated state of being. And from this place, even as we depart from here tonight, remind yourself of the person you no longer want to be by becoming conscious of the choices you are no longer going to make. Remind yourself of who you no longer want to be by the choices that you are no longer going to make. The hardest part is what you have done. And the hardest part of changing is making the same choices, or is not making the same choices you made the day before. And you are not going to go unconscious. You're not going to let your awareness slip. And you're not going to let yourself revert to the old self that you no longer are. There is a new you that has emerged as a result of this encounter. You are becoming aware of the choices that you no longer want to make. The habits and the behaviors that cause you to revert to the old personality based on your own your personality is your personal reality. The habits and the behaviors that cause you to revert to that old personal reality, you have read them. You're not going to allow yourself slip into that state any longer. And you are going to avoid blaming, complaining, or talking badly about yourself or even someone. Because doing this holds you to a lower reality. We are now living in an elevated emotion. Emotion, energy, your energy in motion. And this simple process of being conscious of your old lower self, it's allowing you to stay in your positive awareness zone. Memorize this intention. Consciously think about how it will feel if this intention or if this image is your present or your current reality. How does it feel like? Just feel it. Just let the feeling rise within you in the next minute. Just let it feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. And as this energy rises within you, begin to broadcast it. Feel like you are an antenna broadcasting this into your energy field. Because this is your appointment and experiment with destiny. And if you want, don't open your eyes or don't wake up from this until the feeling of this intention is resonating with your reality. You are waking up, you are coming out of this practice as someone else, living your desire fulfillment. This is what I call self-correction meditation. I highlighted that before you go to bed at night, before you fall asleep. Take yourself through that corrective meditation. Revise your day. Call it pruning shears of revision. Revise your day, prune it. Correct the activities. Because this helps activate your brain and refines it into the future instead of your past. Refines it into a vision of a glorious future instead of the memories of a painful past. You are giving your brain feedback now. You have given it feedback. And it's going to auto-correct itself. Recognizing the kind of mind that you want to carry as you face your glorious future. You're ending on a high. I want you to touch your heart gently. Wherever you feel your heart is, just gently touch it. And have compassion upon your beautiful self. Be grateful. What choices will you not make today going forward? What behavior will you no longer demonstrate? What experiences will you stay or walk away from? What emotions and feelings will you no longer embrace? Just let your mind sit with this for just 20 seconds. And after that, give thanks. I don't know, I can guarantee you the moment you lifted your hand and you touched your heart, a certain calm came upon you. You felt it. You've made time with your precious self. You've had an appointment with destiny. And my prayer and desire is that you will not recover from this experience in your lifetime. Peace and countless blessings. Done.
Yeah, thank you.
I know
Thank
some people
you.
are falling asleep, but that's absolutely normal.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
We want to thank you on behalf of the group. Thank you for your time spent with us. I think we have gone beyond the time you're supposed to spend with us. So we're grateful. And thank you for the impact and the knowledge shared as well. We really do appreciate it and hope that henceforth our lives will begin to change. I think that what I picked up from today's session, what stood out for me is the analogy you made about the inside of a cup being clean and it reflecting on the outside. So basically, if the inside of the mind or the head is clean, it reflects on the body. If we are healthy in our minds, if the inside of the heart or the mind is beautiful and all the nice things, it will reflect on what we are or what we become. And also the fact that we must learn the act or endeavor to respond to things that happen to us instead of reacting to them. And we cannot choose the experiences we want to have in life. We also cannot control the things that happen around us because most of them are actually suggested to us. And we tend to give it the energy to make it seem as if it is our desire or all of that. So that's the little I've picked up for tonight. And I believe that we'll grow from today and our lives will keep getting better. So thank you so much for the impact and knowledge shared. We're grateful.
Thank you.
Anyone else has something to say, please, you're free to speak so we can close the session.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Mm.
Is this my Priscilla or a different Priscilla?
Please, do you have a Priscilla here?
I have one Priscilla like that, but I'm not sure if it's the same Priscilla.
Oh, maybe. Please, has anyone else got anything to say? You can unmute and speak. We're free to do so. So we can close the session in the next 2 minutes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so I guess silence means consent, if I should say. Anyway, thank you, ladies, for being here. And I hope the session has been impactful. We've all picked up something, 1 or 2 things that can help us as we go through life. So, on behalf of the group again, thank you so much for spending time with us tonight. We're grateful. And thank you, ladies, for being here, for honoring my invitation. I'm so grateful. Thank you. So, pleasant night to all of us. And see you again in the next 8 weeks for another powerful session. Thank you and good night.
Good night.